My husband is dying, and I'm pregnant with his child he doesn't know. I'm 39, with 2 teenage kids, and married to Steve, 40. Sorry if this sounds like a mess, it is. Our marriage was mostly for convenience. Steve and I, both divorced, have been friends for decades. This spring, Steve was diagnosed with a rare cancer and given about 6 months to live. 3 years ago, he found out he had a daughter, Sarah, 10 at the time, from a fling in his youth. When he tracked her down, he learned her mother had a mental breakdown and was abusing her terribly. Steve fought for a year to win custody of a kid he hadn't seen since she was a baby, and he did. Then he spent nearly 2 years building a relationship with Sarah, helping her heal and trust him. And now, he's freaking dying. Our marriage was mainly for Sarah's sake. We were told it'd be easier legally for me to get custody of her after Steve's death, in case her mom tried to reclaim her. I 100% want custody of Sarah. I love her like she's my own. She's practically a sister to my kids, almost their age, and she's come so far. She went from having no shoes to being this smart, funny, amazing girl. We didn't have a wedding, just signed papers, and Steve and Sarah moved into my house. The kids knew why and were surprisingly cool with it. Then something happened between me and Steve. He confessed he'd been in love with me for years. I reciprocated, though I wasn't 100% sure of my feelings. It all happened fast. Maybe it was wrong, but I wanted his last months to be happy, and I genuinely care about him. Recently, Steve's health tanked. He's mostly home, with occasional hospital stays, and nurses come daily. He's on heavy pain meds, so he's sometimes lucid, sometimes out of it. Watching him die is gut-wrenching. This week, I found out I'm pregnant. I'm not sure I want to keep the baby. I'm old, already raising 3 teens, including Sarah. I'm seriously considering not telling Steve. It feels wrong to burden him. But not telling him feels wrong too. He's more upset about leaving Sarah than dying, and knowing he's leaving another kid might break him. Terminating feels wrong. Keeping the baby feels wrong. Everything about this sucks. I just want a cigarette and a bottle of wine. Explaining my relationship with Steve is hard, but I'll try to make sense of it. We were friends forever. I married too young, huge mistake. By the time I divorced, Steve was married. When he divorced, my youngest had serious health issues. Then Sarah became his focus. Amid all that, we worked full-time, buried 3 parents, dealt with drunk calls from exes, mine sometimes from jail. Timing was always off. This year, as single parents, we were a great team. Steve taught my oldest to drive. He called me at work when Sarah got her period, hilarious. We always had each other's backs. I was falling for him, it felt inevitable, right? Like we finally had time. But we didn't. Everything sped up, like life was fast-forwarded or some screenwriter rushed to wrap up our season for a Star Wars gig. I love Steve, but I'm grieving the relationship we could have had, should have had, more than what we have now. Go hug your loved ones or whatever the moral is. I wrote more than I meant to and now I'm crying again. Ugh, gross. Update 1, I'm pretty sure I'll keep the baby and tell Steve, but I need to sleep on it. He's out for the night on meds. Thanks for listening. I'm gonna do dishes, feed the cat, and crash. I'll read and reply to comments when I can and hope to update by the weekend. Edit, I saw my OBGYN this morning, and plot twist, I'm not 1 month pregnant, I'm over 3 months. No, this doesn't make it easier. I'm pissed that my choice was taken away again. I'm sick of my life feeling like a runaway train I can't control. I'm tired of people saying I'm strong when I feel like I'm barely keeping my head above water. I just want to be mad for a while. Thanks. Here's my convo with the OBGYN, paraphrased, from 30 minutes ago. Me, I'm old, is the IUD safe for the baby? Doc, I removed it 5 years ago when it expired. Me, I don't remember that. You sure it was me? Doc, you said you didn't need it anymore because men suck and you were joining a lesbian commune. Me, sounds like me. In my defense, 5 years ago my youngest had a spinal tumor removed, and his dad showed up at the hospital with a 20-year-old. So yeah, some stuff from that time's a blur. Update 2, turns out I'm about 15 weeks pregnant, not 4. It's a girl. She'll be loved and wanted in our family. I'll tell Steve. Keep commenting, I like responding, but my decision's made. Thanks, everyone. Edit, got like 5 messages saying you can't tell the baby's sex this early. Go argue with my ultrasound tech, who was pretty damn sure. Sorry for the rant, but here's a stream of consciousness dump. Last night, I was sat across the board sad and scared. Then people turned it all romantic, and I went to bed thinking I'd keep the baby and it'd be all magical. But this morning, I woke up half crazy, then found out I'm way further along, and it knocked the wind out of me. I'm mad I never had a choice and that people think it's romantic that I'm carrying a dying man's kid. I'm mad I came home ready to talk to Steve but couldn't because Sarah's skipping school again to be with him. I get it, but I told her she could skip next week if she went this week. I even cleared it with her teacher. They're watching Stranger Things Season 3, and I want to yell at Steve, why the hell are you starting a new show when you might not finish your sandwich? But you can't yell at dying people or tell them to stop dying, even though that's what I want. He's on meds, calling himself Hopper while Sarah's 11. He's not Hopper, he sat at a desk for 10 years and got chubby. He never punched anyone. I'm tired of everyone pretending life's 90% romance when it's mostly annoying bodily maintenance and paperwork. The good stuff is 10%, and you're too tired or distracted to notice it. Like that romantic night you remember because you chose to, but really you were itching in your tights and wondering if you fed the cat. Okay, I'm done. Gonna buy groceries. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Comments, summarized. Commenter 1, your situation's wild, but I think you'll handle this. You'll be a great mom to all 4 kids. There'll be good and bad days, but they'll grow up okay, that's what matters. Good luck, and I'm sorry you're going through this. Commenter 2, if you keep the baby, tell Steve. He could make videos or write letters for the kid to have later. It'd be amazing for them to know their dad loved them, even if he's gone. Author's response, I'm keeping her. I'll tell him, and we'll do videos or letters or something. Commenter 3, there's a movie where a mom wrote birthday cards for her twins before dying but couldn't finish because it was too painful. This will be hard, but those messages will give your kid a connection to their dad. Author's update, I showed Steve the ultrasound and said, this is our girl. He was quiet, then said, she'll have a sister. Not what I expected, but I agreed, Sarah will have a sister. He asked if I'd manage, and I said yes. We lay there quietly for a long time. He's quiet today, but that's normal sometimes. I need to tell the kids and ask about videos or letters, but I'm giving him space to process. Tomorrow's my last day at work before unpaid family leave, so we'll have time to talk soon. Final update, not sure if anyone will see this, but for those who do, Steve died a few days ago. We're okay, holding it together. The paperwork's a nightmare, but I got the laundry done. And to everyone who read my rant about Steve and Sarah watching Stranger Things Season 3 without warning me about the ending, there's a special place in hell for you. That was traumatic. Oh, the irony. My take, what would you do in her shoes, keep the baby or not? Would you tell your dying husband? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's move to the next story. Story 2, my husband confessed he's been in love with my sister for years. My sister and I had a rough childhood, passive mom, abusive stepdad. My sister was my protector and role model when the adults failed us. When our stepdad got drunk, she'd take his anger to shield me. When she went to college, she let me crash in her dorm bed while she slept on the floor. At 16, I moved in with her for good, and we never saw our parents again. My husband reminds me of her, calm, kind, smart, with the same humor, music, books, and games. It's like a twisted coincidence. I fell for the male version of my sister. They got along great, which meant everything since they're my only family. We married a year ago after 6 years together, and I'm 27 weeks pregnant with our first child. My sister met her boyfriend, 30, a year ago. He got along with us, but I always sensed my husband didn't like him. When I asked, he got flustered, apologized, and said the guy wasn't good enough for her. Last night, we were at my sister's, eating pizza and drinking on her balcony. Her boyfriend suddenly got down on one knee with a ring. She was shocked but happy and said yes. When we got home, my husband was tipsy, said he wasn't tired, and told me to go to bed while he grabbed another beer and watched TV. I came back to the living room and found him crying. I asked what was wrong, and he said he's been in love with my sister for years but knows it's wrong. He swore he loves me and will be a good husband and father. Then he slept on the couch. I'm in shock, torn apart by anxiety. Should I tell my sister? Nothing will be the same, she's my only family and best friend. Is my marriage over? I was blind, but now it makes sense. Of course he loves her. Can we save this family? I promised my daughter a better life than I had, loving parents, not strangers. What do I do? My take, this is tough. There's no clear right choice. They could try to move forward like nothing happened, his feelings don't mean the marriage has to collapse. Maybe he was just drunk and too honest, thinking she's the one without knowing if she even likes him. But her saying she can't let her daughter grow up with distant parents is heartbreaking, she's already carrying the weight of her own childhood. Usually, people pick partners like their parents, not siblings, but her sister was her rock, so it tracks. What would you do? Let's see what happened next. Update 1, my husband woke up, and we talked. He apologized for hurting me, said he felt desperate, like he lost something precious, and was grieving. He loves me and wants us to work for our child's sake. I asked if he loves her more, he said it's a different kind of love. I asked who he'd choose, he said me. I asked if he thinks she's prettier, he said I'm objectively more attractive. I asked if he was with me to be close to her, he called that unfair, saying he truly loves me. I asked if he could live without seeing her, he teared up but said he'd do anything to save our marriage. He admitted he never had a mother figure, which might explain his attachment to her warmth. I asked if he loves her like a mom or wants to sleep with her, he wouldn't answer. I asked if he fantasized about her during sex with me, he dodged, saying, "Why are you torturing yourself?" I asked if he'd lose interest in me if she were gone, he paused, then said he chooses me and our kid. He wants therapy and counseling to save our marriage. Update 2, we had dinner with my sister and her fiancé. My husband was quiet, barely looked at her or spoke to her. The dinner went fine, my sister was too happy about her engagement to notice. Before we left, he hugged her longer than usual, said he was happy for her, and wished her a good trip. Still hugging, he took her hand, said he didn't congratulate her properly last night because he was drunk, and did it again. His eyes welled up. He hugged her fiancé too. On the way home, he was silent. At home, he said he loves me and will do anything to make it work but asked me not to make rash decisions while hurt. He begged me not to tell anyone about his confession, it means nothing, and he's ashamed. I said if I give him a chance, he can't be around my sister. He asked how that's possible since we're always together, and he doesn't want me to tell her because it's embarrassing. I told him to minimize contact. He's back on the couch until I decide what to do. What an exhausting day. Update 3, thanks for the comments and check-ins. I don't have enough for a full post yet. I asked for a trial separation, I need space to think. We're starting therapy to uncover everything he's hidden. He thinks I'm torturing myself, but it's the half-truths that hurt. I hope therapy will help me understand his feelings safely. He cried when I asked for separation, saying he lost everything over a drunken confession that meant nothing. He loves me and wants to be with me. He suggested moving, as he's had job offers in other cities for a fresh start. He's living in our basement, which has a separate entrance and an almost finished kitchenette. I'm not telling my sister this is my battle in my marriage. Honestly, I'm mad at her. I'm jealous and always have been. She's a better person than me. I hate that I could never repay her kindness because she's so perfect. I hate that she's not as angry as I am about our past. I hate her kindness to me and my husband. I hate that he sees how much better she is and that I can't blame him for loving her. Update 4, a month ago, I posted about my husband's confession that he's loved my sister for years. We're getting divorced, and he wants nothing to do with our daughter. After his confession and my sister's engagement, he promised to love me and be a good husband and father. He begged me not to tell her, ashamed of his feelings. We planned to move to another city where he had a better job offer. I agreed. We started therapy, and I told my sister we were moving. She was upset but supportive, as always. She didn't question why my husband stopped hanging out with us, probably too caught up in her happiness. After her vacation, she announced she's pregnant, glowing with joy. Her engagement was rushed because her fiancé wanted to marry before the baby. She asked me to keep it secret until the second trimester, and I didn't tell my husband. She cried about me leaving when she needed me but apologized for being selfish, saying she understood we had to give our daughter a good life. I cried for a week. My husband went to the new city for a job interview and to sign a lease. The day after, my sister and her fiancé announced their pregnancy. Within 30 minutes, my husband called, drunk and crying, asking if it was true and if I knew. He called me a cruel liar for hiding it, said it was unfair that her loser fiancé, a carpenter, got her, a pediatrician. He said he needed to be alone and hung up. On Friday, he texted that he's done with me and our daughter, offering the house if I relieve him of parental duties. I tried calling, but he turned off his phone. I cried all night. Yesterday, my sister called, saying my husband asked to meet her in person on Monday to tell her something. I couldn't explain it then. Today, she and her fiancé are coming over, and I'll have to tell her everything. Final update, I knew I could count on your support. My sister came over, and I showed her my posts here. I didn't have the energy to explain everything. I told her my husband wants to meet her, probably to confess his love or something worse, and to stay away. Her fiancé was furious. She cried, apologized, and tried to hug me and stroke my hair. I didn't want her touch and don't know why. I know it's not her fault. I told her I need space and want no contact with her or anyone. I'm thinking of moving to a small northern town where a high school friend lives. It's cheaper, and I can rent a place during the divorce and find work. I'll have my baby there without stress. I told my husband I informed my sister, and neither she nor her fiancé was happy. He called, apologized, and said he just wanted to see her to say goodbye, not scare her. He swore he's the same guy and wouldn't hurt her but said nothing about me or our kid. He's staying in the new city, starting his job in September. He might come back to say goodbye before moving for good. My sister texted that she loves me and will back off if I want, begging me not to move because she needs me and would do anything to make it right. I didn't reply. I hate how perfect and kind she is. Screw her. My take, I feel for the heroine. Her sister didn't do anything wrong, but it feels like she stole her husband. It's heartbreaking to lose both him and her sister, who seems innocent. What do you think? Thanks for listening to these stories. Check out our previous videos linked here, subscribe if you haven't, and see you next time.